to have this on. It's helpful, isn't it? We haven't done this in so long, I guess I forgot. But welcome, everyone. We're very happy to have you here. Don't feel hesitant about interjecting or asking questions. And I know we had an orientation with the board members last month. I found it very helpful to learn a little bit more about them and able to share the information that Sue and Rod put together for them. And I've heard that it was helpful. So thank you for participating in that as well. All right. With that, I'm going to ask Sue to do roll call of our members.
Carrie Germain.
Present.
Jack Sayer.
Present.
Jessica Lenave.
Present.
Chuck Melkey.
Here.
Andrea Fick.
Here.
Kim Winter. Here. Holly Jarvis.
Here.
All members are here and accounted for. All right, now I'd like to ask all of you to join me in the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Excuse me. At this time, thank you. At this time, we are going to do a ceremonial swearing in of our new board members. They've actually been officially sworn in the month of December, as is required by law. There's a time frame after the election, and they have to be sworn in. And I actually was there when they were sworn in. But Sue Gould is going to deliver the oath of office, and they will repeat after her.
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this state.
I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this state.
And that I will faithfully discharge the duties of office of member of the Board of Education of Swartz Creek Community Schools, Genesee County, Michigan, according to the best of my ability.
And that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of the member of the Board of Education of Swartz Creek Community Schools, Genesee County, Michigan, according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, everyone. And I'd like to also include Mr. Chuck Melkey. I neglected to mention that he's also being sworn in again tonight
Yeah,
for
thank you, Carrie.
another term. But congratulations to all of you again. We have before us a consent agenda. There was a question earlier today about the payment of bills, and I'm going to defer to Jessica whether we should include those in the consent agenda, or if you have any questions or concerns about doing so. What's your question?
Have you reviewed all these? Because we haven't had a meeting yet. Yeah, okay.
If there's concerns, we can remove it and then place them in the second January meeting.
That's up to Jessica, she's the treasurer, but that's what I would suggest, because we haven't, and I'm kind of her co-chair, but I haven't had a chance to review it, so I would not feel comfortable voting on it until I reviewed it at our finance meeting.
Okay, so with regard to that, after removing the payment of bills from the consent agenda, I would entertain a motion for approval of A, B, and C.
So moved.
Jack?
Support.
And
Chuck.
Chuck?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any comments or questions? For our new members, this means that we're accepting everything underneath here without question, that that's been reviewed, and we won't have discussion unless someone chooses to pull it off of the consent agenda. All right. Any comments or questions? Hearing none. Sue, could you do roll call, please?
Jack Sayer.
Yes.
Carrie Germain.
Yes.
Chuck Melkey.
Yes.
Holly Jarvis.
Yes.
Andrea Fick.
Yes.
Kim Winter.
Yes.
Jessica Lenave.
Yes.
7 yes.
All right, motion passes. Thank you so much. All right, next, this is our organizational meeting. We hold these each, the first meeting in January each year, and the intention is to select our officers, We also establish a meeting calendar, and then we look at the subcommittees that we have, and we identify a schedule for those meetings, and identify chairs and folks that would like to participate on the various groups. So with that, I'm going to open it up, and I will take nominations for each office in order, and then I will ask for a vote. But I do need a nomination support. I'm going to start with president.
I nominate Carrie Germain as president.
Support.
Jack? Chuck?
Support.
Sorry, you guys are sounding much alike tonight. All right, so Jessica and Chuck, any other nominations? Any comments or questions? Hearing none. Sue, could you do roll call, please?
Jessica Lenave,
Yes.
Carrie Germain,
Yes.
Chuck Melkey,
Yes.
Andrea Fick,
Yes.
Kim Winter,
Yes.
Jack Sayer,
Yes.
Holly Jarvis.
Yes.
7 yes.
Motion passes, and thanks, everyone, for your support. Moving on to vice president, I would open the floor for nominations.
I make a motion, we vote, nominate Jack Sayer.
What, a second, is that appropriate?
Jack and Andrea.
That was Chuck.
Chuck? Jeez. Sorry, you guys. I've had a cold, and maybe
It's
that's what
okay.
it is. Okay, so Andrea and Chuck, any comments or questions? Nomination on the floor is for Jack.
Can I make another motion?
Yes, you may.
I would like to nominate Chuck. Will you accept?
Yes, of course.
Is there support for that?
Can I
Mhm.
second that? Okay.
Second that? Okay. So we have two nominations on the floor. One is for Jack Sayer, the other one is for Chuck Melkey. We'll do the first one first. So Sue, can you do roll call for Jack as the nominee for vice president, please?
Yes. Carrie Germain,
No.
Kim Winter,
No.
Jessica Lenave,
No.
Chuck Melkey,
Yes.
Holly Jarvis,
Yes.
Andrea Fick,
Yes.
And is that
And-
four,
Jack.
Jack?
Yes.
That's 4
Okay,
yes.
how many do we have?
4.
Okay. All right, Jack, you are being named our vice president. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to treasurer. Any nominations for treasurer?
I nominate Jessica.
I second.
Jessica and Chuck and Jack. Any other nominations for treasurer? Hearing none. Any comments or questions? Sue, can you do roll call, please?
Chuck Melkey,
Yes.
Jack Sayer,
Yes.
Jessica Lenave,
Yes.
Carrie Germain,
Yes.
Holly Jarvis,
Yes.
Kim Winter,
Yes.
Andrea Fick,
Yes.
7 yes.
All right, motion passes. Congratulations, Jessica. All right, moving on to secretary. Do I have a nomination for secretary?
I would like to nominate Miss Andrea Fick.
Okay. Do I have a second for that?
I'll second.
All right. Any other nominations for secretary?
Who's the current secretary?
Jack.
Okay, no. Any others? None? All right. Any comments or questions? Hearing none. Sue, could you do roll call, please?
Andrea Fick,
Yes.
Kim Winter,
Yes.
Carrie Germain,
Yes.
Chuck Melkey,
Yes.
Holly Jarvis,
Yes.
Jack Sayer,
Yes.
Jessica LaNave.
Yes.
7 yes.
All right. You have a good mentor in Jack. All right. Informational items. Oh, I'm sorry, student, we're going to jump right over you, Rod. Superintendent report. I'm sure you have a lot to share, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Heatherton.
Thank you very much, and Happy New Year. Welcome to January. Congratulations to Chuck and all of our new board members, and congratulations to everyone for their positions tonight. We mostly, every time we get together in January, we let our principals know that this is the beginning of preparing for next year, because all of a sudden the work gets pretty fast and pretty crazy. So we are excited to start this new year off as we end the first semester next week. And there is no school on Monday because it's MLK Day, and the high school will be doing exams on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and those are half days. And then Friday, because it's the end of the semester, is a half day for everyone. So I know that Mrs. Corbett has posted that on social media, but if you refer to Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, you can see the complete schedule next week. But once again, we are at the end of the semester, and it's also MLK Day, so a very different week next week. Mary Crapo project continues to move forward in exciting news that has been reported on ABC and MLive. There is a time capsule found in the block of concrete on the cornerstone of Mary Crapo. It was an accident that we found this time capsule. What we were actually doing was trying to save the massive 1928 cornerstone, and as we pulled the cornerstone off, and it's about 4 feet deep, so it's one huge block, inside of that is what everyone assumes is a time capsule. At this point, we haven't opened it, and it is still surrounded in concrete. So we look forward to getting in there and doing a future unveiling of what types of contents are in there, as well as continuing to talk about the next steps of Mary Crapo and how we continue to make our grounds better. February 2nd, I've mentioned this a couple of times at the end of last year, we do have a effective traits of school boards presented at the GISD. If you're interested, let me know. The ISD superintendent has asked that if we have a couple of attendees, that the superintendents come as well. So if we have 3 or more of you that are interested, if you let Sue or I know, we can RSVP for that evening, and I will attend with you. And that's up to you. We also have our own roles and responsibilities workshop from MASA scheduled on February 27th, and that is here locally, right here in the boardroom. It's our own workshop. Both are put on by MASA, 2 totally different workshops. Again, the one at the ISD is Traits of Effective School Boards, and the one that we're holding here locally is Roles and Responsibilities. So it's up to you. Let Sue know, let me know, and we can get some RSVPs for the 2nd if you're interested. And Sue, you already sent something out to everyone for our own on the 27th. Awesome. This week we had a special education audit. It went real well. It's very similar to the financial audit, but way less intense. Instead of a week of poring over paperwork, it's a full day of poring over paperwork. The ISD came out to visit us, poured over multiple IEPs, talked with staff members, special education, teachers, social workers, speech and language, as well as all of our TCs, and dug into multiple IEPs, looking at goals and strategies, timelines, and all of the things that by law have to be in an IEP. And it was a great process. Jim and I got to sit in on the last hour of the day just to hear the feedback, what some of the things that we're going to work on, and some of the celebrations. And I am very proud, since you guys have heard us talk about our MTSS systems for the last 12 years or so. The ISD made a comment that in their auditing over the last 3 years across the 21 districts that we have by far the best vision and actually implementation of systems around MTSS than any other district in the county. So I thought that was quite a kudos to come from an outside auditing team. So pretty excited about that. And finally, just to remind everyone, we're going to take our new board picture next week. So, or not next week, next meeting, which is in 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, our new board picture to go up on the website, just so you're prepared. Sue, do we do that before or after? After?
After, usually.
After. So after the meeting, we will get a picture taken. That's all I have.
Thank you. So he's prepared and maybe available. Will Tanner be part of that picture as well, as our student representative?
He can absolutely be a part of that picture.
Just wanted to make sure that you know that, Tanner. All right. Well, thank you, Rod, and congratulations to the entire team on the MTSS. Kudos. That was amazing. We know you guys do a great job, but it's always nice to hear it from an outside source, and such an important source. So, congratulations. Anybody else have questions or comments for Rod on the report? No? All right. I am going to go back to number 5, public comment. I guess I missed that one. The first one, it's agenda specific. If anybody would like to address the board, please step forward, state your name, and keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. There will be another opportunity at the end of the meeting to make public comment. Not seeing any takers at this moment. All right. Going back to the aforementioned Mr. Wykes, Tanner Wykes, our student board representative, would you like to give your report?
Yeah, I can absolutely do that. All right, so starting off at the high school level, the annual Swartz Creek Coming Home game is Friday, February 3rd. We're going to be going against Fenton this year, and this year's dance is the following Saturday, which is February 4th. It's going to be from 7 to 10 at the high school gym, and the theme this year chosen by student council and the student body is Viva Las Vegas, so that is definitely going to be a fun one. The Swartz Creek varsity esports team finished their season ranked 17th out of the 90 schools in the East region. Now, the East region is made up of schools all over the eastern half of the U.S. that participate in varsity esports. Students are also at the high school giving very positive feedback to the new Intro to Guitaring class that's been offered this year at the high school. The positive feedback has prompted the high school to decide that as long as it's possible in the future, we'd still love to continue that class, as students seem to be thoroughly enjoying that. The Swartz Creek High School drama seniors this year have started practicing for this year's senior showcase. The show we decided to pick this year was The Last 5 Years, and we decided to pick this because it was chosen for this year's seniors. It would give them the greatest opportunity possible to take the stage by themselves and showcase their talents to the max. That show will be taking place on February 10th and 11th. And to end it off in high school, the Swartz Creek Drama Club also held both auditions and callbacks this week for the spring musical, which is The Addams Family. The cast list is expected to come out tonight, and the show is slated to take place mid-April. Going down to the middle school level, the middle school robotics team is officially up and running, and the students were able to compete in their first ever robotics competition this year. Starting second semester, the middle school will be getting a new student store that rewards Target ticket awardees. Now, students who have earned Target tickets throughout the school year are now going to be able to redeem those tickets for cool prizes at this new store. So definitely some rewards for some of our good behaved peers over there at the middle school, which is super nice to see. The How to Train a Dragon group is a group of students that will represent all of our Dragon Time classes, and that's going to be starting up at the middle school, so students can have a student voice about what's been going on in the school. The middle school is also revamping their homework help intervention program, which is also run during Dragon Time. This is a program that allows students struggling with schoolwork to have access to all the proper materials and resources they need to get that help that they need. as well as rewarding those who have no missing assignments with fun activities and free time. And finally, at the middle school level, the middle school was going to be planning a STEAM night, which selected students from Kettering University will be presenting at. The night will also include an open house for the middle school's brand new built STEAM wing. On the elementary levels, Cyrene and Deke PTO are going to be selling Little Caesars pizza kits as a fundraiser. The link to order has been shared on Facebook and Twitter and through the school messenger system. Cyrene and Deke are also going to be holding a family dinner night on Tuesday, January 17th at Burrito Bros and Back Alley Subs. When you go, just mention that you just mention the name Cyrene or Deke, and the PTO will receive a portion of that sale so that it can go towards the students of the schools. And Deke Elementary School students and the Deke community this year during their giving tree were able to raise funds and gather food and clothing to help support 10 families this holiday season, which is awesome. And a new program called the Blossoming Blueberries has started up at Moorish Elementary. This is a program that involves the second grade, which is with the highest in that building. It involves those students that have demonstrated exceptional Creek behavior in the first semester, and their job is, now that they've been given special responsibilities, and their job is to support the younger kids in the building and help them out when needed with certain things that they need help with, and keep the younger kids feeling nice and welcome throughout the school. And that's all I've got for this report.
Thanks, Tanner. Great job as always. Anybody have any questions or comments for Tanner?
Yeah, thanks a lot for doing such a great job. I'm curious to know do you have a date or an idea yet for a roundtable? And will you coordinate if we do one for the middle school, or will it?
Yeah, for the roundtable meetings, either late January or early February, I'm not sure what the weekend is after the 10th or 11th, but after that, those 2 weeks in there, that time slot is what I'm thinking of putting the high school one on, and then after that, I'll start gearing up for that middle school one. But I definitely want to get the high school one done mid-February, and then within a couple weeks' time, hopefully we can transition over the middle school. I'm going to be talking with Mrs. T over there to help coordinate and get that all set up, and hopefully as long as I can get out of classes for a little while, I can come over and help coordinate and run that for you all and get that set up, because that is absolutely something I want to do this year.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, of course.
So it's a roundtable.
So a roundtable is something that was started by a representative last year, Elena Cook. It's an event where board members can come, and we have tables that are set up. Last year we did it on the stage. So with last year, board members showed up, and all of the students that were selected based on grades, behavior, etc., they were all paired into groups, and they sat at these tables. And then the amount of board members that were able to come, that was the amount of tables we had. And then each board member would sit at a table, and they get 15 minutes to talk to students, and if they want, they can just let the students talk about things. They can write down some questions if they like, if there's specific things they want feedback on, and just generally just communicate with the students so they can get a clear idea from more than one person, things about the school that can be addressed or looked into by the board. And then after that 15 minutes, everyone swaps around the table, and then by the end of it, the goal is hopefully that every board member in the room was able to go to each group and be able to get a little bit of insight from more than just one student about how things are going in the environment of each school.
You do it at the high school and middle school?
Last year we did it at the high school. That was the first year we did it. We did 2, and they were both very successful. We got a lot of positive feedback from the school board. So this year, that was something I definitely wanted to continue. And this year, since it went so well at the high school, we want to try and do that at the middle school.
They were able to openly share with us some of their concerns or things that they thought could be done differently or better, or they had great ideas. And at the time, the parking lot wasn't started yet, so of course that was a big concern. Some of the things that, the food is always a topic of concern, but we were able to listen and then share with each other some of the things that we had heard. So if you get a chance to go, it's about, an hour and a half or so?
Yeah, usually I think it's about a 90-minute event, depending on how, I'm going to try and keep it the same amount of students last year. The way I'm planning to do that is all of our juniors, sophomores, and freshmen that were last year that have moved up classes, they're going to be invited back along with a few others, and then I'll have to go back and look at the freshmen this year and make some selections and invitations there. But hopefully, if everything goes well, it should be about 90 minutes again, and we should be able to have same selection of students and a nice student body so you guys can get some really good feedback.
And thanks for spearheading that again.
Oh, of course, not a problem.
Okay. Any other questions for Tanner? All right. Thanks again. All right. In your packet, you do have information about employment of one non-certified staff, Melanie Mata at Moorish. And then moving on, we do have board discussion items on our agenda. We have our school board committee discussion and chairperson selection. And then secondly, we'll have our board meeting calendar discussion. And this will kind of set the stage for some of the work that we'll all be doing for the remainder of this year. I'm going to turn it over to Rod. I think you're going to kind of lead us in this process. Just so everybody knows, the two documents that we'll be referring to are these in your packet. Beginning with the committees that are right here.
So the documents that you have are just a draft. We'll base our discussions off of the draft tonight, but obviously we'll have to choose not only the chair of each committee, but also a date and time. So those dates and times are tentative. Obviously, if someone is chairing a committee and they can only come on a Thursday, then those dates change. And the calendar for the full board meetings is a mirror of last year's calendar. So you have one board meeting a month except for 4 months, which we've done for quite a while now. And those 4 months are January because we do this organizational meeting. June because of the budget hearing. August because of hiring and getting ready for school. And December/November, depending on how the dates fall, because of the superintendent evaluation. So you have one meeting a month plus 4 additional meetings on the regular board meeting, and then each month before the regular board meeting. In practice last year, we did a week before so that there was a full week in between for you to reflect on the discussions that were happening at the subcommittees. We have operations, finance, policy, and academic achievement. Last year, we did do some consolidation, and we put academic achievement and policy back to back, and then finance and operation back to back. That went real well. We then split out policy and academic achievement again just because of schedules. I would strongly recommend if we could do that again, that's helpful. We have probably 2 to 3 central office members that come to each committee meeting, and then we almost always have a principal or 2, depending on the topic, that come to a meeting. It doesn't have to be in the morning or the afternoon. It doesn't really matter to me whether these are morning meetings or afternoon. Last few years, finance and operations has been a 2 and then a 3 o'clock. But if we could go with policy and academic achievement back to back also on either the afternoon or the morning, that would be helpful, as opposed to having poor Mr. Kitchen have to get here so early and be here all day. So I don't know if you want to start with academic achievement and have a discussion of who's interested in chairing that. Now, these are committees of the whole, so for new board members, you're allowed, because it's a committee of the whole, because it's posted, because we have an agenda, and because we have public comment at each meeting, you're allowed to come to any and all meetings. So you don't really have to select a committee to be on. Everyone kind of ends up having their own favorites that they go to, but we do have to have a head of the committee, because that person chairs it and does the bulk of the work, and works with me to make sure that we have agendas and topics, and that they get discussed thoroughly and followed through on and brought back to the board. So I think.
And then produces the minutes or the notes.
Also produces the minutes, correct.
So can you real quick tell me who the chair of each committee is now?
Yes, so right now, academic achievement is Carrie, policy is Jack, finance is Jessica, and operations is Chuck.
So,
All right. Go
Carrie,
ahead, Chuck.
would you stay in charge of academic?
I would like to,
Okay.
unless there's someone who has an overwhelming desire.
I think you have my support.
Is
I
there
know you do.
anyone?
Yep. All right. I think that'll take care of that unless anybody wants to speak up. Good. And I'd like Jessica to stay in charge of finance. She does a great job there.
Thank you.
And
And I would prefer to stay on building and operations.
I think you do a great job there.
And unless there's any objections, somebody else wants to do it, I'll support you. And then policy would be, that's up to, if Jack wants to stay in charge, or if you want to bring in one of the new members.
I wouldn't mind, but, well, thank you, Andrea. But, it's ultimately comes down to, if you do want to consolidate those,
We just moved academic achievement to the afternoon and butt up to it.
if I was chair of policy, that's the only way we could do it.
Because you still have to start at 6 for
Correct.
policy.
Well, that's if Terry wants to move it to the afternoons.
Which I know is.
I don't have a problem doing that.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Okay, I apologize.
In the weeks that we help our daughter, it's every week, but the weeks I have board meetings and our daughter comes up here with the babies. But I just want to make sure that helps your challenge, Rod, with having administrators and sometimes teachers, right? Because we have teachers come. I just want to be sensitive to that as well.
Yeah, so for academic achievement, it probably has the most staff that rotates through. For example, on next academic achievement, we have to take a look at the course guide for the high school. And so high school counseling and the high school principal will be down to go through the entire course catalog because, like I said, it's the beginning of the year and we got to start getting students selected into classes for next year and start that scheduling process. So,
Would it be possible to
or split the days if we don't do back-to-back.
would it be possible to hold academic achievement at, would it be 4 o'clock would be when the entire district would be out at that point, right? Including the elementaries? But like right after all of the schools are ended, business is done for the day in terms of the education part of the day. Would it be possible to hold that at 4 and then we can move policy up 1 hour to 5?
Yeah, I think that would work. It wouldn't impact any of our admin. We would just have to
I was thinking for the teachers.
politely ask, well, yeah, so
They would have to stay over
they
possibly,
would,
though.
they would have to be invited and accept to come.
Gary, what's academic
That-
usually take, an hour and 15
An hour,
minutes?
we can usually get through it in an hour. Maybe hour.
I was wondering if we could move
15.
it, move it to
Yeah.
3 to 4, but that still doesn't help policy then.
No,
Because he can't be.
I like the idea of 4 to 5. All of our admin are still here at that point, so that's not an issue.
So 4 to 5 for
I'm not sure if it
academic
matters,
achievement.
but I also like 4 to 5 because then I can also attend because I get out of work at about 3:30.
So you're saying academic achievement,
Yeah,
4
4.
o'clock, 5 o'clock for
5 o'clock can be policy.
You can get back safely, Jack?
Safe,
From where?
legal, yes.
Safe and legal?
Safe and legal.
All right, I just want to make sure.
I will follow the speed limit, I
I like
solemnly
the
swear.
safe and legal.
And so then the question is, the way we're doing it now is the Monday before the board meetings, the regular board meetings, the week before, we're doing 2 and 3 for finance and operations, and then Tuesday we would do 4 and 5 for academic and policy. Is that, do you want to keep them on the same days as well?
I don't care.
Can we do 3 and 4 for finance and
Yeah.
operation?
All right.
Okay.
That's,
All right. Okay.
right now, finance and operations is going on Mondays the week before a regular board meeting. So Jessica's asking for 3 and 4. Do you still, you both are the chairs, do you still, is Monday the week
That's fine.
before still good? And then Jack and Carrie is Tuesday still.
Tuesday stuff.
Wasn't it the week before? It was in,
Oh.
only for January.
Yeah, January is a little different because
I
of,
didn't look that far ahead, yeah, the week before.
January is
Yep.
going to be, there, every once in a while, there's a crazy week where the subcommittees will fall on the same week of the board meeting, but generally they'll be the week before. So I'm hearing Mondays for finance and operations, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, and then Tuesdays for academic achievement and policy, 4 to 5 and 5 to 6. Generally the week before a regular board meeting, not so for January. Next week, just for clarification, again, Martin Luther King is on Monday. It's the end of the semester, and then I am at MASA Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday in Battle Creek, so.
And then for the new members, Sue is incredible about sending out the notices to our calendars so that you'll have it, whether you can come or not.
Yeah,
So
you'll
you'll
have,
have it.
everything will appear in your Swartz Creek calendar.
Okay. So any questions before we go forward on any of the
I'm going to
dates?
throw one thing
Mhm.
out here, and that's not, I can go either way. It seemed like having we had 2 meetings in November, right? We didn't do a December meeting.
Well, it's supposed to be 2 in December, but the December one fell on November 30th, just because of the bi-weekly, so.
Is there any chance for the November 29th meeting for us to move that to December 6th? So it makes it after the first of the month, and it's not such a big gap between the last board meeting where so much work is done in the first meeting. in
We
January.
can do that. Do you mind that then you'll turn around later and do my evaluation a week later? Because I don't really want to move that into the 20th.
No,
'cause
I personally don't mind. I mean, I think the evaluation, I don't think we necessarily, that week I don't think impacts
Right,
the
no.
evaluation in that meeting. It's just, I remember us talking about, wow, that seems like a long time, and
So just because, so on the full board meeting calendar, you'll see it says November 8th, November 29th, December 13th. What she's recommending is you take the November 29th and bump it a week into December, hence the true December meeting, but without moving the evaluation, which means you'll have a back-to-back board meeting. The evaluation is almost entirely 90% in closed session, so it's not the same as a regular board meeting, but you would have a back-to-back Wednesday.
And so then what do our committee meetings look like in November?
So then we could just adjust to the week before. We'll have Sue adjust all of them to the Monday and Tuesday the week before if possible, unless there's a vacation or something in there.
So that would be the week after Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving's on the 23rd, so it'd be the 27th and 28th
because
possibly.
these
Okay.
committee meetings would fall the week of Thanksgiving as they stand
So
right
we'll move them
now.
a week back,
Is that
forward,
okay?
yes.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that. I was even going to suggest we have an extra meeting. I don't mind having an extra meeting when we have a long month, because it seems like so many things happen that we kind of fall behind. But let's just go with what you said, and then we can always play it by ear. Okay? You
Okay,
have to have an extra finance meeting, and encourage all the other board members, which I'm sure Carrie's going to say, to attend any of these meetings so they can get up to speed on what's going on in the district.
and like Rod said, you may have something that is more of a passion or that you're more interested in. I would encourage you to go to as many as you can, just to get a flavor of what they discuss. There's a lot of details behind the scenes, and we try to represent in notes what was discussed, but that's not always possible because there's documents and everything that we do review that are available, so.
So if you do attend, do you have to stay for the full entirety of the committee meeting?
No.
Okay.
No demerits. But thanks for asking, Holly. All right,
Also, just to Chuck's point, at any point, if we need to add a meeting, we can do that as long as it's posted in the time frame. We can add or change meetings, which happens regularly throughout. This will just be the base that goes on the website, and then as we adjust, we can add those in and post them. Because we will have, workshops sometimes change as well, so those are the tentative 4 workshops in there.
Perfect.
All right, any other questions before we go forward? Go ahead.
Okay, so the academic achievement and the policy committee are held on the same night,
Yes.
3 to 4 and 4 to 5.
4 to 5 and 5 to 6.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh. I think we started there. But because we often have teachers coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Great question. All right, moving on, for our board discussion items, let's see, we've completed those, and the board action items. Now we're on to the approval of the 2022 board meeting calendar. I would entertain a motion.
Everything that was just discussed.
Yeah, I would entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Support.
Jack and Jessica? Any comments or questions? And that would be the calendar as we have just amended it. Be it resolved that the Swartz Creek Community Schools Board of Education approves 2023 board meeting calendar as presented. Sue, can you do roll call, please?
Chuck Melkey?
No. No. But Carrie, can I back up a little bit? My
Oh,
partner-
sure.
My partner here wants to change the times back to 2 to 3, which I'm not opposed to. I'm flexible.
For finance would be 2 o'clock.
So I would
very
hope
sorry.
that somebody would withdraw the motion, and then we'll remake the motion. if that's
Okay, so 2 to 3 for finance and 3 to 4 for
Yep.
operations?
Yes, please, sorry.
Okay.
So let's withdraw the motion and then just.
I
let's do it.
do
So we-
withdraw my
So
original
if he
motion.
withdraws by parliamentary procedure, we'll withdraw the motion, and then we'll just add that to it, if that's okay.
Okay, so Jack, you are withdrawing your motion,
Yes, ma'am.
and Jessica, are you okay with that?
Support,
Yes.
All right, so would you like to restate your motion, Jack?
After it's read in, the 2 to 3.
Okay, all right, and Jessica, you were good with that?
Good.
All right, be it resolved that the Swartz Creek Community Schools Board of Education approves 2023 board meeting calendar as presented. And Sue, if you wouldn't mind, roll call, please.
Sure will. Carrie Germain?
Yes.
Chuck Melkey?
Yes.
Holly Jarvis?
Yes.
Andrea Fick?
Yes.
Kim Winter?
Yes.
Jessica LaNave?
Yes.
Jack Sayer?
Yes.
All right, and as always, anybody has any questions or concerns, contact me, contact Rod. You can also contact Sue for any other details. And so let's move on. This is one of my favorite parts of a meeting. This is our approval of SCEA employment.
This is one of my favorite parts of the meeting, too. We don't usually get to do this very often in the middle of the year, but I'm going to ask Miss Rachel Hawken to stand right up to the podium here as I talk about her. We do have an opening in 7th grade ELA at the middle school, and Ms. Hawken has been a fantastic ELA teacher for our VLC for the last 3 years, working with all of our students at the Virtual Learning Center. And so a Swartz Creek Middle School team met, interviewed multiple candidates, and are very excited to bring Rachel in front of you today to take over 7th grade ELA. She has a passion for kids, especially kids in the VLC who are underserved. She understands what it means to reach kids, to dig into intervention and make sure they are getting what they need. And Rachel, you want to say a few things about yourself?
So this is my 3rd year at the VLC. My dad is here. He's been a Swartz Creek teacher here for many, many years. So I'm very thankful to be back in front of a face-to-face classroom and that it is here at Swartz Creek. So I just want to thank you for the opportunity.
You guys aren't going to be in the same hallway, are you?
No, we are not. But I'm just very thankful for this opportunity.
So Rachel, I ask all the candidates, and I know this is a little bit different when you were born and raised in Swartz Creek, but what brings you to Swartz Creek Schools to want to share your talents with our students?
So I grew up here and I went to school here, so I really like the community aspect that I think Swartz Creek Schools have, and that's what drew me here. So
Great answer. All right. With that, I would entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Support. Jack and Jessica.
Chuck.
Chuck. Telling you. It's still valid, Rachel. All right, any comments or questions? Be it resolved that the Swartz Creek Community Schools Board of Education approves the SCEA employment of Rachel Hotkin, ELA, teacher at the Swartz Creek Middle School as presented. And Sue, you know the drill.
Jessica LaNave,
Yes.
Jack Sayer,
Yes.
Andrea Fick,
Yes.
Kim Winter,
Yes.
Holly Jarvis,
Yes.
Chuck Melkey.
Yes.
Carrie Germain.
Yes,
7 yes.
congratulations.
Congratulations.
And congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Hockin. I'm sure you are very proud, as we are. All right, next, we have before us an easement at Moorish that we need to review and approve. And Rod, do you want to explain that to everybody and we'll
Yes.
answer questions?
So during the bond, a proposed easement sketch was made to come off of Linden Road, which is the New Life Wesleyan Church there, and in order to create a new lot on the south side of Moorish, which is created as a teacher lot and a sidewalk and a bus loop, very similar to the way Elms has been for the last 3 years. So we completed that, or we were working on that project all summer, completed it, a week after it was supposed to be done with all the other lots. And the pastor asked that we get the paperwork formalized because all we had was the sketch. So in September, I sent the sketch over to Truan. It took about a month to work up the language. We then sent that to the pastor, and he had to send it up to his church hierarchy, and they took a month, and they reworked everything, which then caused me to send it back to Truan to then say whether the reworks were good, till everyone has finally agreed, both sides, Truan as our lawyer and the New Life Wesleyan Church, Michigan Ecclesiastical Corporation, their lawyers, and so now we have the official signature with a notary from the church. The original agreement between the pastor and Ben was for $20,000 for a lifelong easement to that property so that our buses can get in there and our staff can get in there. And it's finally done, and once you approve that, I will then be able to sign it, and once I sign it and get it notarized, we will take the original ink from their signature and our signature and get it down to the county and registered, and we will officially have a legal easement.
Madam
I do.
President, I do. What was the biggest hangup with the church? Do you recall, Rod? I know there was a couple when I reviewed it originally.
Indemnification and a couple others, and talking about liability.
That would be number 8, the indemnification, so if everybody wants to read that.
And then our lawyer basically said, that's fine as long as it fits by law. And so he had some other areas in there that, yeah, we don't mind accepting anything that is legal
Right.
in the state of Michigan, right? You can't just have anything in there. So he reworked it again. And
Yep. I just wanted to bring that up so the board's up to speed and that we're good. So when we sign this, our attorneys have reviewed it intensely, and it doesn't put the district in any undue harm, and we can move forward with it. But we have 3 new board members that didn't see the original documents.
So did we not have an easement there already? Because don't we have a
No.
sidewalk there right now?
the sidewalk actually splits multiple houses further north on Linden, and this is further south, probably by about 4 or 5 properties. Yeah, there's a sidewalk that goes out to Linden. It's not even big enough for a drive, right? So, yeah.
We need this to alleviate the bus traffic.
Yeah.
You didn't have the
No, because the easement at Elms Road was a full lot property. There was talk a long time ago that when one of those houses went up for sale, if you could get it next to that particular sidewalk, that would work. That never happened, and so hence using the church driveway.
So where is this? Is it the church driveway, where you use their driveway and then cut across? Is that what it is?
So, yeah, it's built, it's cut across now, so if you turn into the New Life Church, and then immediately after you kind of pass the homesteads, it cuts right through what was their property, and then it was their soccer field, then it was our playground. So you had two fields back to back. It cuts all the way through there and goes right up to the edge of the building as a curb drop.
And this falls under our school general liability insurance, correct?
It does.
Okay.
We have had Chris already file everything.
Okay. Any
Make a
other?
motion that we accept it, Carrie.
All right, thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thanks, Jack. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, Sue, can you do roll call, please?
Kim Winter,
Yes.
Carrie Germain,
Yes.
Chuck Melkey,
Yes.
Andrea Fick,
Yes.
Holly Jarvis,
Yes.
Jack Sayer,
Yes.
Jessica Lenave.
Yes.
7 yes.
All right, motion passes. Thank you. And who signs this from here? Just you, correct? Neither of us do that, okay? Or I guess it would be Andrea and myself at this point. All right. The next we have a high school overnight field trip to Grand Rapids. That's exciting.
Yes, we have student council who is going to be taking a student leadership conference, is that right? We'll have Mrs. Damon come up. I didn't know if you're gonna have questions, but now I'm just gonna have you come up anyway. Now I'm just gonna make you come up. She has been running student leadership at the high school.
It is the MASC, everything has an acronym. MASC, we just had regionals today. It was hosted in Frankenmuth, so that was pretty awesome. The kids are excited. This is the state conference, so all student councils across the state are invited to attend. We've attended before, but this would be my first time attending with the students. But our e-board is who is invited. I've met with those parents, talked to them later last week. And now I'm here. That's it.
And so as you know, we have lots of field trips throughout the year, but anytime by board policy we have an overnight field trip, it does have to be approved by the board.
Can I comment real quick?
Absolutely.
Having been in student council, having done one of these states trips for student council, I can say this is a worthwhile venture for our student council. I think this is a great opportunity for them, and I would hope that the board would approve this for them.
How many students?
So there's 6 members on our executive board for student council. One of those members is actually on the board of delegates for the MASC. So she'll be going, she's there, but in a different capacity. She'll be leading the conference. She stays with the MASC group instead of us, but we're all at the same conference hotel, so we'll all be together, but they kind of take care of her. So I'll just be chaperoning 5 students.
Thank you.
Yep.
So the expenses, whose expense is this?
It's student councils. It'll all come out of our student council budget that we've fundraised for and that we've raised money through dances and different fundraisers through the school year. Parents are also responsible for a portion, just so that the kids have a little skin in the game.
So I did mention that some of the meals are on the students, and all of the students are able to cover those meals?
Yes, I've
Okay.
talked to all the parents. They're all on board.
Okay.
They know the deposit. They know why we have the deposit, and they're going to give money for the kids to have spending and for them to have those 2 meals. It's
Okay.
just a lunch and I think another lunch, actually. It's 2 lunches.
I'm curious, the sheet that you just handed out, and thanks for providing that.
Yes.
The charity of the year, I'm curious, do they work together as student councils across school districts to raise money for
Yes,
A
so
group?
we've been doing different things. It's actually Oxford that is hosting the state conference this year, and whatever school hosts the state conference is who chooses the charity of the year. So we're doing an event in April that will go, because that runs for the whole entire year, not just up until states. So we're going to do an event in April that will support the charity of the year as well.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you for
Yeah, no problem.
being their leader. Thank you. Okay, with that, I would entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
All right, I'm going to call that a Jessica and a Jack. All right, any other comments or questions? Hearing none, let's see. Be it resolved that the Swartz Creek Community Schools approves the high school overnight field trip to the Rock the Love 2023 Student Council State Leadership Conference, February 25th, 2023 through February 27th, 2023, as presented. And Sue, would you do roll call one last time, please?
Carrie Germain,
Yes.
Jessica LaNave,
Yes.
Holly Jarvis,
Yes.
Andrea Fick,
Yes.
Jack Sayer,
Yes.
Chuck Melkey,
Yes.
Kim Winter,
Yes.
7 yes.
Thank you. Motion passes. And thank you again. We look forward to hearing what the experience was like for the students. All right, next we have an opportunity for public comment. If you'd like to address the board, please step forward, state your name, and keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. It's a familiar face.
Hello, hello everyone. My name is Jacob Winter. I'm an alumnus of Swartz Creek Community Schools. I have 2 things to say. One, I want to congratulate Tanner on being up there as the student board representative. When I was the first board representative, my greatest fear was that it would fizzle out as a position. And I can tell you that based on what I've seen from Tanner and your predecessor, Elena, those fears are very much allayed. So I want to thank you. And also, I don't know very many people who have the lung capacity to rattle off the kind of update that you gave to the board. So I want to congratulate you for that. And I also want to say that I have a favorite board member. Maybe it's taboo to have a favorite board member, but I do, and that's my mom, Kim Winter. I want to congratulate her and say how proud I am that she's now a member of this board. And boy, do I think the community made a great choice in placing her on this board. And I'd also like to congratulate the other members who were elected at the same time. Thank you.
Thanks, Jake.
Thank you, Jacob. It's good to see you back. I hope all is well.
Everything is great.
Good. Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I got a quick one.
Sure.
My name's Jerry Winter. We're Swartz Creek, 30 years or so. I just was interested to hear that the new governor of Arkansas, just her first executive order was to prohibit CRT from any of the state school classwork. Is that something, I mean, how would we approach that here in the Swartz Creek Community Schools? I don't know if that's to the superintendents or the education academic board, or who is it?
Yeah, so we don't currently have any policy on that. If the board was to enact policy, then obviously we would follow through on that policy. There's some misnomers on CRT. That's actually a college-level master's course. So there is no high school that I am aware of that actually teaches a true CRT course. We do not teach a CRT course anywhere in Swartz Creek.
Good.
And I'm not aware of actually any high school that teaches a true master's level CRT course, because it is, as intended, a college course.
It's intended, understood that, but it's getting a lot of visibility nowadays around the country, so just curious where we're at with it. Sounds like that's a non-issue here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. And last item on our agenda, as always, are comments and questions from the board. Who'd like to start? I have a few. Jessica?
Number 1, congratulations, Chuck, and welcome to Holly, Andrea, and Kim. I'm really excited for the new board, and congratulations, Jack, in your new role. And we have at least 3 teachers out here, and I want to say, and what I wanted to say, Carrie, you went a little fast in the questions, comments. When we made the motion, I wanted to say specifically, Rachel, thank you so much for putting in 3 years with the VLC and doing such a great job. When Jody Morgan has talked about your involvement, and I can't remember what the other conversation was. There were a lot of compliments given about your engagement. Oh, it was the VLC graduation. That's what it was. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for doing that. And it's really cool to see a family involved in education still. How awesome is that? And anyway, so Mrs. Damon, thank you so much as well for taking the group and letting them see and know and being part of how important student council is. And, just going up the scale with that, going over to the state convention. So I just wanted to say thank you for all of that. And then lastly, one of the things that we did not decide, and I am willing to volunteer to still be the representative for the Genesee County Association of School Board Members, because that, I think, becomes part of the January decision-making. We will need to have an alternate and/or a new, and I could be the alternate, who knows? But I am willing to continue to do that. That does meet monthly. Oh, my time's up.
So it's a good point, Jessica. I guess I'm curious, do they meet before our next board meeting? I know it's Thursday nights usually.
Thursday. I will double check, because I do believe it will be next week.
So it sounds like you're going on record as wanting to continue.
I would.
And unless there's an objection to that.
I 100% support it.
We do need someone who is willing to be an alternate in the event that Jessica can't attend those meetings. She's an incredible representative, and including help, she sits on the board, you're the treasurer for that group, and she also helps organize the Christmas or the holiday event that's in December up in Frankenmuth, on that group that you will all be invited to. So if there's anyone who's interested in being the alternate, or if you want to think about it, we can talk about it at the second meeting in January.
Yes.
Maybe you can chat with Jessica about what that means. And we'll come back and vote on it officially. But thanks for bringing that up, Jessica.
My pleasure.
Anything else?
I have just a few things, Carrie. Congratulations to the new board members that are on here that are serving the district. Two is that Mary Crapo, the Keystone / potential time capsule, I think the board has to make a decision on when and where it should be opened, and kind of come up with some ideas, whether it's done at pre-graduation, during Mary Crapo Field of Dreams, or whatever we decide to do on that, or at a special event, PAC meeting, or hometown days, or whatever. The board, it doesn't have to be done today, but I think it needs to be addressed in the next meeting or two. If you would put it on the agenda for us, please, Madam President, just to address that with Rod. I encourage everybody to come to the next bond committee meeting. Lisa will be there. Is that true, Rod?
Yes, she will.
And,
she's going to be at building.
oh, she's building operations, okay. So whoever can make it to that, that's fine. I would appreciate they come, because there'll be some input there on some of the conceptual drawings on what we're putting there in that property. I mean, whether it's a ball field, walking parks, pickleball, dog parks, for the community. That's number 2. And number 3, we had a informal meeting on roofs, which we'll bring up at the next building committee meeting to save the district money. And I think that's about it, Carrie. I just wanted to tell the board that, so they can either, try to make time to come to some of those meetings, because they won't make it till the next board meeting, I don't think. So just everybody be aware of that. Thank you.
When is that bond meeting?
Well, the bond meetings are always on the date of our general board meeting. But our building meeting, I misspoke myself. I think Lisa's coming to that, Rod. You corrected me.
Right.
Yeah.
So Lisa's coming to the operations,
Yeah.
which will be on the Monday at 2 o'clock. It'll actually fall on the week of the board week. January is that funky
Yeah.
one. So 2 o'clock on the 23rd. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is it 2 or is it 3?
It's 2. She bumped it. Well, finance goes first, so
2 to 3, and then she's from 3 to 4.
3 to 4.
Okay.
Depends on how long we go on finance. We always start the building operations immediately after finance. And if you can't make it, it's no big deal. I mean, me and Jessica will report to everybody what's going on, so you guys and know about it, but just if you can make it, that would probably be an important meeting to come to.
So Lisa from NJB has some conceptual drawings. Yeah. And so, and the reason we're having it at operations is, again, because that's a posted meeting, committee of the whole, any one of you can come to it.
Right.
You couldn't all show up to the bond meeting because the bond committee is a admin committee and you can't have more than 4 or you'd have a quorum.
Can't have more than 3.
Three or less. So you can all attend the operations and take a look at those conceptual drawings.
Thanks, Chuck.
Thank you, President.
Thank you.
And can I also just thank Chuck for bringing in
Yes.
the roof company? We had a great meeting this week and just a great possibility of partnering with someone who can do the job, who's local, who is so much cheaper because of the way it's already in a cooperative bid. And the results seem to be pretty phenomenal. So it's just the kickoff to a possible partnership, but it was a fantastic meeting.
Potential saving hundreds of thousands of dollars for the district. We can put it
And
towards the
Chuck,
kids.
thanks for sharing your passion for the field that surrounds Mary Crapo and that which will be.
Thank you for giving me
whatever
latitude
plan.
to run with it. and
Yep.
Board
No,
support.
we're very passionate about it.
There was one other thing I forgot, I'm sorry. And I don't know if we even need to bring it up, but maybe in the next month or two, because we're coming to the deadline on gains, we just need some numbers on gains again. I think we made a motion last year till March, Rod, March 28th, 23rd, 7th, something like that.
Well, soon I looked at the motion, it just says that you're going to keep it open for a year. But if you want data, I can bring data.
Well, that would be up to the board, but I think that data needs to be brought to the board. I mean, I'm not going to say anything at this point on what we do, but I think that, we owe it to the district and to be financially responsible and to the other students on what exactly we're going to do and, just at least look at numbers so we're informed of what the numbers are there.
So Rod, what's a reasonable amount of time before you would have information that is readily available, or, is it earlier, is it in the spring, or before that?
When's the next count day?
We have, obviously, our fall counts already happened. February is our next count day. I will have that information. The data overall hasn't changed from the last 3 superintendents that have brought it. So if you want me to bring it and repeat it, I can. If you want an update on the numbers, that's easy. You just tell me what you want.
I kind of want an update on numbers, just the cost and how, if we're going backwards, forwards, staffing, if, what we can do to alleviate any issues, if we have any. I think it's running smooth, isn't it, right now?
We've lost 20 kids. We're at 119.
So you made a motion a year ago to keep it open for a year. What did that, any year, was the motion made that in a year you're going to close it? Like,
Oh.
I'm just saying, how did you word that motion? Was it?
The motion was just
open?
that it was going to be kept open. There was no motion that said we're going to revisit or close.
Okay, good. Well,
It's
maybe
just that-
it's a non-issue then.
The motion was that at the time, we were going to continue on keeping gains open for this school year. If need be, we would revisit it, but if there's no need, then we don't need to. There was never any part in there where it says we're going to close. There's never any part that said we would even have to revisit it if we don't need to.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Comments, questions? I'm sorry. Item 10, we will get, when someone is hired that is not a certified staff person, like we did with Rachel, we will get just information about who that person is. No, it's just FYI. And then in the consent agenda, if someone has retired or resigned, that information is also available in your packet. We had one resignation, I believe, right there.
It should have been right in the front of your packet, right after your minutes. There it is. The packets usually follow the agenda right along, if I didn't mess up.
All right, anyone else?
I have a question.
Sure.
I was just wondering, who makes the final decision on what we're going to do with Mary Crapo? You mentioned a few things, and I just wondered,
The board. That would have to be a board decision.
so there would be a vote on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Just because anything that's done is gonna cost money, and anything over, 27 grand or something is gonna be, and anything to do with property is always have to be a board vote, so.
That's what that plan that would be proposed from Lisa on that next operations meeting. She would give us an idea what that concept looks like based on some of the conversations and some of the ideas that have been brought forward.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So
Andrea had one more.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to give a formal thank you to the community for voting us into this position, to my co-board members for making it as well, too. It was interesting for those of us that did it for the first time, but I just wanted to give a formal thank you to the community for bringing me to this position.
Thank you. We're happy to have you here. All right. Congratulations again, Rachel and family. Good to see you, Jacob. Mrs. Damon, thank you so much again for mentoring our students, future leaders of our community. And thanks to all of our board members. Congratulations on your positions as officers. Rod, thank you to your team, you and your team. You guys do an amazing job, amazing job. Our students are the benefactors of that. And Tanner, thank you for being here. And I would like to propose that we make this year, through your eyes and your ears, catching students doing good things. So if you can share those things with us when they're, brought to your attention. I know last fall we had some students who helped build a ramp for someone, that they had learned the skills in Mr. Fuller's class. And those types of things are wonderful, but it's always nice, even if it's a small thing, it's made a difference in someone else's life. So let's look at that.
Absolutely can start looking out for that
Right,
and
that's
getting you some of that information.
And
Absolutely.
Board
Would love
members
to.
as well, if you see or hear anything that might not have a lot of visibility, we like to give some recognition. And the staff as well, that's helping those students or that's doing some really great things. So with that, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Jack? Chuck? Comments or questions? Hearing none? Those in favor say aye. Any opposed? All right, we are adjourned. Thank you.